Welcome to episode 20 of Rock Talk with the Silver Fox. Today, I'm going to be talking to a band out of the Chicago area, I believe out of Schaumburg area, Wunderlich, which honestly, the name is all kinds of fun for me since I am fluent in German. And I love Americans butchering the German language, but it's a cool name. Right now, I got Dan and Jeff Wunderlich. I guess Rob's going to be joining us later. How you guys doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm always good. It's great being me. Like I said, you guys are out of Schaumburg. Is that correct?
Technically Elgin, but yeah, Schaumburg suburbs and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically the suburbs of the Chicago area, which is doing pretty. Which has a lot of nice venues. I mean, as a matter of fact, I think I met Dan over at the West Chicago Social Club when Left of Reason was playing on a bill there. And he came up and talked to me and told me to check out his music. I did. Thoroughly impressed.
Thank you.
You guys, how long you guys been together now?
Well, this is with Dan. We've been together for about coming up 3 years actually with Dan. So we had a drummer prior, and Dan joined us 3 years ago. Actually, this will be June.
Yeah, June will be 3 years.
June.
So
It was okay. You kept him.
About 5 years total with this rendition, and I've had the Wunderlich kind of moving forward through the years, and but this has been the absolute best rendition we've ever had. I mean, it's just amazing. The band is great. I can't ask for anything more.
So I gotta ask. I mean, like I started in the introduction, how did you come across that name?
It's my last name.
So has anybody ever told you what that means?
No. Well, not exactly. I mean, if you know more than I do, please go ahead.
In German, it's Wunderlich,
Correct.
Which is a Wunderlich, or a licking wonder. So that's up to you to figure out. You take out of that what you want. Take out of that what you want.
it makes sense. We've always said that it's the best you'll ever have.
That's right.
There you go. I mean, when Dan originally told me the name, I was sitting there, and he'll tell you, I asked like 3 times, will you say that again? Let me write that down. You know,
Wunderlich. Actually, you got it correct.
Depending on what part of Germany you're in. I lived in Berlin for 5 years or 7 years, and we have more of the hard CH, so it's Wunderlich. But you're right. There are parts of Germany definitely will say Wunderlich. Being from the Chicago area, there's a lot of great venues down there. I know you got like West Chicago Social Club, real close by in Bradley. You have the Looney Bin. Twisted Spoke is south of there. You have the Elbow Room. What other venues down there do people need to know about?
Well, there's a whole bunch. I mean, there's big venues, small venues. You know, we've played everything from smaller venues like the Uptown Lounge to medium venues like Penny to a Pub and venues like that. And then you have bigger venues like the Arcada in St. Charles, and Brower House in Lombard. We actually played with Skid Row at the Arcada on the main stage, and then we played with Sebastian Bach at the big stage at Brower House Live. So there are some bigger venues in the suburbs still, and then there's a lot of smaller ones where you can go out and just be real intimate with the crowd and have a good time. And you know, they're all over the place. You even have places like in Braidwood. You got Freak's Place.
Top Fuel Saloon.
Oh, yeah, Top Fuel Saloon. I totally blanked on the name. It was right at the tip.
That's why we always let them talk all the time.
Yeah, they let me get it out.
Well, he said freak, and that I've got plenty of stories with Freak. So
He's always been a great guy every time I've seen him. So,
oh, he's always been great. I don't have a bad word to say about the guy. I mean, he's done some things I've never seen any other owner do, that's for sure. But, you know, I kind of will talk to him before we start putting those stories out on the table.
yeah.
Yeah, get them all straight, right?
Yeah. No use of plowing the guy under. I mean, just for having a good time and having fun. And he knows how to do that. And you mentioned the Brower House. I've been there 3 or 4 times, and I love that place. In Lombard, I love that place. If I had a complaint about Brower House, is you better bring a huge crowd if you're in that main room, because that main room is gigantic. Is that the room you guys are playing in?
Yes.
Yeah. That's the one we played in there.
Yeah, it was about just a little over 1,100 people that night.
That was Skid Row, right? Was headlining?
Sebastian Bach.
Sebastian Bach. Okay.
Yeah, with Cobra and the Lotus.
Oh, nice. Who did I just talk to that's playing with Cobra and the Lotus? I just the other day, it was really an interesting, just a side talk. You know, like sometimes Dan and I will talk on the phone or whatever. So Brower House, and then I'm trying to think where we played in the Chicago area that we haven't named. I mean, the Elbow Room was one of those places that, for whatever reason, it had a name. I mean, it's kind of got an iconic name, and all of a sudden I got a show booked there on a Wednesday in January, and it's snowy as can be and still filled up, but you don't have to, it's not a big room. You guys played down there?
I don't think it's open anymore.
Yeah, I think
I think it closed.
I think Elbow Room's closed now.
Yeah.
That's probably 2 or 3 years ago, but
yeah. There's other places too, like Bottom Lounge and all that in the city, and there's just a lot of history with a lot of these venues. Even the smaller ones, you get a lot of underground punk scene that comes through there, a lot of underground rock scene and metal scene that'll play a lot of these rooms, and it's just a great time. You know, there's so many stories that can be told at any one of those venues that it goes back ages, you know.
Penny Road Pub's the same way.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we played upstairs and downstairs at Penny Road, and Penny Road Pub, the downstairs, really reminds me of the old underground punk scenes, and where that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, one of my old drum heads was actually on the wall for the basement of Penny Road for many, many years. I used to play there monthly almost. I used to work there. Got a lot of history with Penny Road Pub.
Then you know Eric Kuhn.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Eric's been a buddy of mine. I've known Eric Kuhn since I was 18. So it's been, he's recorded stuff for me. I went and did shows with him. I actually did from Hee Haw, it was what the heck is his name? I can't think.
Roy Clark.
Roy Clark, thank you so much. Amazing guitar player. And yeah, we did a few shows with for him in Indiana, and I helped him with sound and everything. Yeah, Eric's a great guy. Awesome guy.
If you see him, I don't know, is he still doing lights and sound and all that still? For some reason, I thought he was getting out of the business. No, but I know he's one of the best.
Yeah, he owns all the gear for actually Top Fuel Saloon. He does all that for Freak, and at least that's what he told me the last time we talked to him. And then he's also was doing all the stuff at Penny Road, and he had a rig somewhere else too. But he definitely knows his stuff. That's for sure.
Well, you've been in his office over at Penny Road, right? Across the parking lot there.
His house.
Oh yeah, his house.
Yeah, but the one in the garage. We go over there every time we play Penny Road. And once again, I manage the band Left of Reason. And we go over there, and this guy's office is better stocked than any 7-Eleven, Stop and Go. You name it, you know, like a Shop Mart, a Quick Trip in here in Wisconsin. He has food forever in that place. You end up there all a few sodas and maybe smoking some stuff, and he'll feed you. May not be good for
Oh,
your
yeah.
diet, but he will.
Well, I mean, I know you can only see me via the small corner of the picture, but I'm not too worried about diets to begin with. Just so you know, we got our bass player, Rob, just got here. So we're going to get him settled in here as well.
Where are you at, Rob?
Just go ahead and drop it all over there.
Don't want to interrupt.
No,
Yep, we're already rolling. How you doing?
get in close.
Yeah, Rob, you typical bass player late. Oh, did I say that out loud? Damn it. How you doing? We have Rob joining us now from Wunderlich. We're just talking a little bit some of the venues that we've played and different common people we may have known, or we not may have known that we know. What do you guys got coming up here?
Well, we've got several shows actually lined up for the next couple weekends. We've got Mugs and Manor next Saturday. That's over in Addison. And then we've got, we're playing bass camp with our buddies in the band called Pinion. Friday, May 14th. And then we've got a little bit of a break due to vacations and Memorial Day weekend and everything. We're kind of going out doing separate things. But then we have got a festival over at Driftwood Lounge over in Indian Head Park on June 19th.
There's two of them.
Yeah, we got two of them there. And then we've got June 26th at Sugar Skull. And I remember you were talking to me about Left of Reason coming to Sugar Skull in July.
Yes.
Yeah, we're almost exactly a month apart. So we're playing June 26th there. And then we've got a couple more shows lined up for the rest of the summer. Still trying to book up some other dates as well.
So what festival is this that you're playing over in with Driftwood, you said?
Yeah, Driftwood Lounge in Indian Head Park. It's usually just playing inside the bar, but they're looking to shut down the parking lot. They're gonna build a stage outside and just make it an all ages event to where it's like a mini fest. It's not like any specific occasion. It's just go out and have a good time on the weekend. There's a lot of good food in that area. We just played there not too long ago, actually, inside the bar, and we had a great time. So they decided they want to do something outside, and they asked if we would be on the bill. So we said yes.
Quickest way to get booked is just say yes.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys also play Ruckfest.
No, we haven't played it. And
Okay.
we're because aren't you doing a Rock Fest up there?
No, we do Rock to Stop 22.
That's what it was. Yeah. I'm in a club outside of the band that we're talking about Rock Fest. But that's a whole nother ball game.
Okay.
As far as the band's involvement, we've got a couple different things potentially lined up to be helping out with the PTSD awareness and suicide prevention for veterans and everything like that too. We've worked with 22 vets, and we did a benefit. It wasn't last December, but it was a year ago last December down at the VFW Hall in Yorkville. Yeah, we are big in trying to help out with causes like that.
Yeah, because I know we'd spoken about those causes.
Yes.
And like I said, I don't discuss a lot of politics on here. Honestly, somebody has a problem calling veteran suicide awareness a political thing. Well, I'm sorry, they can fuck off and die. And I'll just say it. I don't care. Let them come after me. I don't care. But yeah, that's that you know, being involved in stuff like that is good. Obviously, I'm very partial to it. I do run a big show up here. You know, I usually put out the word in January. Dan and I talked about you guys possibly getting on it, and I'm sorry I was booked in February for our show this year. It's a 2-day event. I was going through some of your videos and stuff, and it looks like you guys have really good crowd participation. Are most of those shot down in your guys' area, kind of like in your stomping grounds, or are they from like all over the place?
It just depends on the show. I mean, I don't know which show you watched. I mean, that one of the bigger ones was definitely, the Arcada We actually won Battle of the Bands. So that, I think that was probably one of them. But yeah, we usually get a lot of crowd participation, especially when we have to force people to come up. You know how it gets into, they'll get a little stage shy. They don't want to come up and participate. So we make sure we wait till they come up. No show until you come up and participate. So
Or we go get them.
yeah,
Get up here.
Yeah.
Come on now.
so
Are you seeing more and more? Are you seeing a problem with that recently? Because I mean, I've said it on every episode of this podcast. 2020 for live music just sucked ass. I mean, it wasn't good, and it wasn't the band's fault. It wasn't anybody's fault. I mean, rules are rules. I mean, what are we going to do? I know it's rock and roll, but at the same time, is Illinois starting to open up a little bit now, or?
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a really good crowd last weekend, and everybody was, very respectful, and just it felt like it was back before COVID was. So
Yeah, it's starting to get there.
yeah, it's taking its time, but I think it'll get there towards the end of the year. I think when people start feeling more comfortable going out.
Yeah, now that everybody's kind of getting inoculated and they're starting to feel more comfortable with getting outside of the house, right? Like they kind of have to get back into the habit of getting out there. And I agree with Jeff. Like, by the end of the year, everybody will be out, I think.
In fact, I personally think it'll happen tenfold. I think everybody's been so cooped up, they're not going to be able to wait to get outside to a certain extent, obviously, within reason and safety. But there's a lot of things that we all missed by not being able to go out for last year. Hanging out with friends and going out and doing things versus being stuck at home. So I think we're going to see an influx of that. I'm hoping more than anything, but I can foresee that happening because I couldn't wait to get out of the house.
Yeah.
Well, my big question through this whole deal of 2020 to now, where it seems like it is opening up a little bit, is how, who, and when. Because unfortunately, we have lost some venues, and that really blows for our industry bad. And how it comes back, is it going to come back like it was, or are we going to be changing things around? That I don't have the answer for. And it seems to me people are trying to keep it normal.
I think so.
I think with anything, us as musicians, you know how it is. Improv is kind of a necessity in our line of work. Kind of have to go with the flow, and you adapt to the surroundings that are given to you, and you kind of shape into what needs to be shaped into in order to make things work. That being said, I'm not talking about our morals or values about anything, or how we write, or our styles, but just whatever's available, we figure it out. How is it going to be the same way it was 20 years ago? No. Is the music scene anything like it was back in the 80s? Hell no.
Close.
Right.
Not even close.
But that's
not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, though, when I say it's not even close. I mean, I'm an 80s kid through and through. And then when I was in a band 100 years ago, late 80s, early 90s, this business was so different. I mean,
Yeah.
Video killed the radio star. The internet killed the rock star. So.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, you have people who can think they can write anything in any given time by pressing a button, and there's like some of the talent has slipped away, and I think that we need to bring that back. There needs to be, these bands that come out and play, they're wonderful, they're awesome. I love to see the talent, and that's the most important. Not somebody behind the scenes of a computer pressing buttons and thinking that he's a rock star. It's not. Just my opinion.
And plus, like you said about adapting, people have so many choices of what they can entertain themselves with these days compared to the 80s and even in the 90s. So you have to adapt, right? Like you have to wind up having a Facebook account, an Instagram account, whatever other accounts, and
TikTok.
taking some of your stuff and putting it up there and, becoming part of that in order to entertain people and titillate them and, get them wanting to come see the show as opposed to them kind of being bored, 20, 30 years ago and saying, I want to go see a rock show, right? Like, so you have to kind of adapt yourself to it.
Well, and you're absolutely correct. I think you both hit the nail right on the head. Late 80s, early 90s, even before that, bands would literally record an album, then they would go on tour to support that album. And making an album was not easy. Now it's very easy. I mean, there's plenty of great ones. There's plenty of good ones and there's plenty of bad ones. But now it's like you release a CD or a single, a video, whatever you're going to do. And that's your reason to tour. It's really not to support it. It's now a reason to do it. Because when you go and make a video, for example, or even a CD, unfortunately, Rob said it right. There's so much out there that you can find exactly what you want. But the problem is you got to wade through all the other stuff. And unfortunately, I think a lot of bands get missed. And that's unfortunate.
You're absolutely right. But I got to tell you, as far as the adapting thing goes, guys like you that create a platform for guys like us that kind of puts us out there so that it's more helpful than just getting overlooked. The internet has done some good things as far as that goes, like podcasts and interviews and stuff like that. So it kind of going with the times. That's just the whole improv thing.
Oh, you have to roll with the changes, because if you don't, you will get left behind.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's just in my opinion, is a given. I can say a lot of bad things about the internet, but I can say a lot of great things about the internet. I mean, I remember the days where you drove hours 2 or 3 weeks before your show so you could go put posters up everywhere and hand out tickets and all this other stuff. Where today,
we did that last night.
I still think it's the best way to go.
Yeah,
but a lot of times you can create an event, push a button, and shoot it out to a couple thousand people. I mean, just depending on what necessary evil you got to use that day. I mean, when I say that is a couple years ago, Facebook was great for that. Now, you got to pay and this and that. But once again, you got to roll with the changes. Somewhere along the line, somebody's going to make money.
But the problem, I think, with Facebook is that you get bombarded with constant, one after another, bans and ads and, invites and stuff. It's like a lot of people don't even care. They're like, and it needs to be, like you said, old school, go back to talking to people, inviting them with flyers, getting to know them more, to get them to come out to sell it to them, because they don't know anything about it. It's like Rob said earlier, so many choices. And if you can't explain why, or show them why you're important, they're not going to care.
That's where I think you're right. You're absolutely right, Jeff, when you say handing out, by seeing somebody, handing them a flyer, handing them a card, handing them something, it actually tells me, somebody like me, that you give a shit that I come to your show. And for that reason there, if I'm in the area, I'll go. Now, I'm a pretty unfair person to use for that, because when I don't have a show, I tend to spend a lot of times at shows. So I'm always looking for the next big thing that I think is fun, or is a good band, or give me a reason. I mean, I've done interviews with bands who have a lot to say, and I'm just impressed with what they have to say. And then, like, last week or the week before, I interviewed a band out of Nebraska. They're a glam band, like a good old 80s glam band that's doing original stuff. And I was like, that would be fun as shit. I would love to go see them.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and like, but Dan talking to me at a show, not even your show, you know, talking to me at a show. When I left, I typed it into my phone, and when I got back to Wisconsin, I was checking out the videos. I was looking at the Facebook page. I was checking it all out. And not just for the show. I want to know who's a good band and who's in my wheelhouse. If that makes sense to you.
For sure.
I mean, I understand there's a lot of good bands that are not in my wheelhouse. And I'm very clear on this. I only put bands on here that I enjoy. If I don't
Well, we
like
appreciate that.
Yeah.
I mean, if I don't like them, it's pretty easy for me to find an excuse. No, I'm sorry. I'm booked that day, man. I'm sorry. Just like a venue owner. I'm sorry.
Maybe that's why he did put us on that Ruck Fest.
Oh man.
Take the pop shot. Go ahead. Keep pissing off the promoter. Here, we'll make it real easy for you. You can remember the name of it now.
That's hilarious.
I told you gift certificate of $25 wasn't enough.
Hey, if you guys aren't doing anything August 13th and 14th, it's at a campground. We have tubing down the Sugar River, camping, the whole deal. It's a 2-day event. It's fun. But it is a drive for you guys. I know that. So we talked about expanding out. Like you said, you were coming north. And from where they are, they're heading my direction towards Wisconsin. So how far have you came up here now, and what's your reception been like?
The furthest north that we've gone so far, I believe, was Whitewater Fest.
Oh yeah.
We got to go up and play Whitewater Fest, not last July, but the year before, and seemed like we were very well received. We were actually asked back, and if I remember correctly, we were one of the very few bands that have been asked back.
Yeah, they have a council. It's a friend of mine I grew up with, and he had seen us play, and he's like, "You guys, I really enjoyed you. I want you guys to do Whitewater Fest at 4th of July during the fireworks, before and then after." And then I asked him, I says, "Oh, can we come back?" And he's like, "We normally don't have bands come back another year in a row. It's only like maybe every other couple years." And then he called me and said, "We want you back. They loved you that much." But unfortunately, COVID kind of took the kibosh out of that. So, I'm sure we'll still be back in the running if they do it again.
So, and then we've gone up. We've just played up on Lake Beach now too, which is about an hour north of us even still. We did that just this last Saturday.
Where was that?
Village Spirit.
Village Spirit, yeah.
Village Spirit Inn, I think is what it's
Round
called.
Lake, yeah,
Round Lake
Lake Beach.
Never heard of it.
It was
Illinois.
out north,
Oh,
north of the Volo area. It was, yeah, a little bit north of the Volo area.
Yeah,
It was one of the more
Northeast.
intimate venue, but we had a great time. We opened up for a band called Sinister Fate. Had Nostradamus and Psycho Puppy that were on that bill too, and it felt like good old fashioned show. There was good, 40 to 60 people there through the night. Would you say?
Throughout.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a huge drawing show, but that's still breaking into the new way of things still.
Yeah.
We had a great positive reaction. We made a lot of new friends that night amongst the bands and the crowd. It was a great time. And Bernie, the guy that threw the show that night, he was a great guy, hell of a sound guy. He has referred us to a couple other booking agents too, up in the Rockford area and stuff like that too. He was impressed with us, so it worked out well. We had a great time too. It was nice to get out and really just crank and have a good time with some other rockers that were doing the same.
Finally, we could play loud.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were
Holy
loud.
crap!
We're loud shamed. We're always getting loud shamed.
Always loud.
You guys are too loud.
Yeah, we've
Always have
actually
to turn
been
down.
asked to leave because we're so loud.
Yeah.
Like literally, yeah.
Yeah. We're a three-piece, and
This is the one I gotta. Well, we gotta keep up with him, So when he's beating the crap out of his kid, we gotta do something, So.
Well, you put the gorilla behind the kid.
That's right.
yeah.
It's all good.
I'm
We're
the
not no
drummer,
problem with that.
I'm the drummer, and I beat them like they owe me money. So
Yeah, I've had venues tell us we had to turn down. I don't think they've ever said we had to leave.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe
it was
they never told us
fun.
we had to
Yeah.
leave because we were too loud.
Yeah, we were leaving.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah, we usually wait for the shenanigans to be after our time is
Yeah.
up, but so that's another ball game. But yeah, there was one venue, we won't mention the name of it.
Yeah.
They actually cut our set short and told us we got to get going.
Yeah. And so we just kept playing a couple more in a row.
We
just
did a
to piss
medley.
him off. Yeah. So he was very happy. He's like, oh, it's not that we don't think you're good. It's just that you're too loud. My people are leaving. I'm like, what are you talking about? They're right there.
Yeah, they were right in front of us.
No one was leaving, so I don't know what you're talking about.
And we did play one more, but the one more was like three of them put together, right?
Yes.
We
Yeah, it was like
did a medley as our
yeah.
one more.
Just keep it going. No stops.
And then I went out and had a heart attack.
Sorry about that.
It's all right.
So you play the good old Ramones trick, like 1, 2, 3, 4, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like hold out
Let the
lines.
guitars ring, and
Okay, next one, yeah.
it was a good time.
Well,
Yeah, I
Wisconsin, everywhere up north in Indiana and west,
Oh, yeah, Indiana.
Indiana, everywhere outside of like Chicago metro, we've had a great reception every time we've played one of those shows. It's our crowd. Every time we get out, it's our crowd. They like rock. They like to go to the bars and they like to hear loud music and they like to bang their heads and they like to get into it. So Wisconsin's been, and anywhere even close to Wisconsin, where it's kind of like, Wisconsin bleeds into Illinois. Everywhere up there, it's always been a great reception when we're playing up north.
Yeah, I live like 13 minutes to the Illinois border. So, when you said you're in Whitewater, yeah, I'm literally like half an hour from there. That's come as like Whitewater Fest. And then when you said it was 4th of July, okay, they're calling their 4th of July Whitewater Fest. Got it.
Yeah.
Um,
All the rides out there, and they got a big stage and
Oh yeah, the sound was
Yeah.
amazing. Oh, it
killer
was great.
sound system, and
Yeah.
the crowd was huge, and we had people dancing out there and having a good time, and
Myself included.
yeah,
Yeah.
these guys actually kind of screwed me.
We left him on stage
We left
by
them on
himself.
stage.
Yeah,
We had the wireless and we went out there. We were dancing with the crowd and dancing stuff. They're going, where did they go? I can't see them.
yeah, it was pretty funny.
I managed a cover band years ago, and they used to do that to the drummer all the time. Especially they played hash pipe. And when they would play hash pipe, they would all be in the crowd and the drummer would be sitting there just like, twirling the sticks and staring at me like, I'm gonna kill these guys.
Pretty much it was.
Yeah, that was pretty identical.
I believe it was a Green Day song, and
It
I do
was.
believe that he was singing it too. So, which was even better.
Yeah, it was brains too. I felt like it was in the 7th grade talent show all over again.
Look at him go. His head all, we just sat next to people and like, let's watch them together.
Like rolling around with the kids on the ground. Like, hey.
Dan, you're lucky they didn't have wireless mics too.
Well, no, let's not go there, okay? I don't need to give them any ideas.
What are we gonna do in sync next?
You can
This
stop
little wire
now.
coming down, right?
Have you guys noticed? You bring up In Sync, and it's kind of funny, but think about it. I see a lot of bands right now, even big bands, are grabbing some of those old, like late 80s, early 90s songs and remaking them into like rock songs.
Yeah.
You know, I know for a fact, like, I can't say anything, but we're getting ready to record one from the late 80s, early 90s that we've made into a rock song. You said In Sync. I don't know if that wouldn't be fun.
Oh, I can tell you, I don't think it would be.
Yes.
They had their time and they did their thing. I'm not hating on them, but in other bands I've done the pop stuff and I've played other stuff and it crushed my will to live. So I think writing our own stuff right now is where we want to go. I think Genesis has been overcovered. We have Disturbed to thank for that one. I think we're still working on just finishing our own stuff up before we start worrying about tearing something in the older stuff.
If you can't tell, Dan is a straight rock metal guy. He's like, I don't want
But that's fine. The business side of me, when Left of Reason came to me and they asked me to join up with them, I remember going to the first practice and I'd heard them do this particular cover, which I'm not going to say because it's, like I said, we're saving it for a surprise. And when I heard them do that one cover, because they're playing like a 3-hour set, so you had to throw in covers, you know what I mean? And
we do that regularly.
We do that now, yeah.
And I heard it and I was like, that is totally a Left of Reason song. It sounds like them. And when I joined up with them, I was like, you got to bring that back. And they were like, nope, we only do original music. We only do original music. That's all we do. And I'm like, I get it. I totally get it. But if you do, say, a 45-minute set, that's 9 songs, right around there, ballpark, right? You throw that cover in at about song 5, you know, because people, if they don't know Wunderlich, they don't know you guys from Adam. And you guys start playing, and they're like, yeah, these guys are awesome. And they're hanging with you for 2, 3, 4 songs. And then they're like, man, I really like this music, but I don't know any of it. And sometimes you might lose them to the bar. And sometimes worse than that is you lose them to a cigarette. They go outside, they're gone 45 minutes, half an hour minimum. Well, out of your 45-minute set, they're done. They're out. Throw that cover right in the middle. And all of a sudden they're like, oh, yay, I like this song. And they're dancing and singing along. And then you've got them the rest of the way.
We actually are a living testament to that. That's kind of our formula too.
We do that all the time, yeah.
We just did it.
we do Stink Fist from Tool.
Okay.
And then we have our own favorite that we usually like to close out and kind of be our encore. You have to come to a live show for that one.
There we go.
Yeah, we do that same thing. We do 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And then we throw in the cover in the same genre. And then we'll do like another 3 or 4 or 5. And then we throw in the other cover. If it's a longer show, then, you know, repeat, right? If it's a shorter show, you get with like the heavy hitting covers. So everyone's, you know, leave them with a good taste in their mouth so they want more.
Yeah, I just talked to so many.
Dan wants to know, as long as, you know, he's happy as long as we do Nickelback. He's golden, and I'm probably gonna get backslapped right now.
He can say what he wants about Nickelback. I went to a Nickelback show. My wife wanted me to go very bad. They opened, Stained open for him. Alpine Valley. People bang on him, but holy Christ, you go to a Nickelback show, every song is a hit for an hour and a half.
Got a lot of hits.
The problem I have is not with the band themselves. I'm not a big Chad Kroeger fan. And their hits to me, there's not enough of a difference. They don't mix it up as much as to keep my interest. You know, they run the same formula in every hit, and they've got hit songs. I can't hate on them for being rock stars, but what I can say is that they definitely are not for me. Because you play one song, you play all 30 of them.
I will say they went through a phase where they did that. But if you go back to like Leader of Men and songs like that, that was nothing in the formula.
You know, I can actually respect that. Was off their first album. It was their second album is where it became the cookie cutter, and it was the albums thereafter. Their first album, I can admit, wasn't terrible. You know, I remember hearing a couple of those songs and really kind of digging on them. But once they started coming out with the ballad rock stuff and the cookie cutter stuff, it was just like, no, I can't do it.
Well,
And then with Chad Kroeger liking to run his mouth the way he does, just I can't do it.
you know, the formula they came up with is simple selves, and that's the way it works. I mean, all the way back to AC/DC, lots of bands like that, simple selves. Put something where they got that hook and they got that emotion that they can drag along with them, and it'll sell for you.
Have you ever heard their version of Rain and Blood
No,
of Nickelback's?
Have not.
Amazing.
I've heard them do Master Puppets, which sounded awesome.
Yeah.
When I saw them and they started playing Rain and Blood, I was like, what am I doing? Have I smoked that much pot? Am I that high right now?
We're at the wrong show, man.
You know what? I've seen Slayer do it, and there will never be a comparison. I'm sorry.
I never said they were as good as Slayer. Have you ever seen them do it?
Yeah, but what are you saying? At a Nickelback show, I mean, that's not what we're expecting. You know?
All of a sudden they hit it, and Kroger hits it. I know you don't like Dude, but he hits it. You know, I mean, there's a lot of bands like that. I think right now, unfortunately, I think Volbeat's starting to go down that road because people are doing the same thing with Five Finger Death Punch. They're like, it's the same thing over and over and over. And I'm like, still kind of digging on it, you know, so.
You're still buying their albums.
This is where it's a little different for me. I'm actually a big fan of Five Finger Death Punch, and I get hassled often.
I like Five Finger. Don't even look at me.
It.
Look at Rob. It's Rob.
That's who I'm looking at.
Okay, good.
You know, I've always actually really dug Five Finger Death Punch. I hear the difference in their songs. I don't hear it being cookie cutter. But teach their own. Yeah, everybody's entitled to their opinions. You know, I'm gonna dig on Five Finger Death Punch. I think Ivan Moody, especially after he got sober, he really started putting a good foot forward, and the stuff he was writing, I really enjoyed. So
It's got a hook. That's
yeah.
all you're looking for, right?
It does. I would never hate on them. I just call them metal Nickelback because that's what they are.
Oh boy, we're never gonna play.
Ivan,
Yeah.
I didn't say that. If you
Yeah.
ever hear this episode, Ivan, it wasn't me. It was that guy.
It was this guy,
Yeah,
because it wasn't me
this
either.
guy. I got
Right
your back,
here.
Ivan.
So,
There's someone off camera that said that. Get out of here.
Ivan, I'll help you hold him down.
It's Ivan Moody, dude. I don't think he needs any help.
I know, but still. If he didn't want to get his clothes dirty,
Dude,
Play with them. I'll take the hit. It's fine.
have you ever heard of the show Sonic Boom? The big festival. They hold it. It started in Madison as this band camp, Madison, Wisconsin. Then a big radio station up here, JJO. We got very lucky. There's a regional airport by my house. Like literally, you can hear the show from my house. It's a 2-day show that JJO used to put on, and it's just anybody who's anybody is at this show, and it's probably, I don't know, 10 to 20,000 people. And I know one of the main sponsors there, and I had a backstage pass thing, and I went past the point where I was supposed to go. And Ivan Moody literally was walking around with a chihuahua like this big, a tiny little chihuahua. And he's just walking around with it backstage. And I'm looking, and he goes, "Hey man, what's going on?" I'm like, little surprised, dude. I was kind of thinking there might be a pit bull or something, but what do you got? Something against my Chihuahua? I'm like, not really. I mean, I love cats, but you know.
Oh, see?
Hey, small dogs need love too, bro.
The good thing is he just started laughing when I said that. And my wife's like,
Oh,
he
good.
just did
You're
not call his dog a cat.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. Oh man.
So you guys are on Facebook.
Yep.
Are you on? I heard Twitter earlier. I heard
Oh.
Dan wants to take up the TikTok thing.
No,
Want to know, but it's like that
He has
seems
no
to
choice.
be one of the new popular social sites these days.
only one of the new, because that's the only
Yeah,
one up here.
it's kind of the new thing. No, there's a MeWe now, and there's several others too, but TikTok seems to be what's been the most popular
For the moment.
Yeah, Instagram still. We've got an Instagram and all that stuff.
Of course. I told her not to call me.
One second, just
I'll,
No.
no? Decline, right?
Oh, yeah.
Are you still there?
Here he is.
I'm here.
His
I'm
daughter was just calling. And he
Oh,
tells her every week, don't call between this time and this time on Tuesday.
I
And
told
every
her.
week she calls between this time and this time on Tuesday.
so,
Sorry about that.
oh no, dude. I mean, last week I had Midnight Devils go, "Hey, can we pause this real quick?" Dude works at a strip club and had to go take care of something real fast. So we were recording at a strip club. That was the glam band I was telling you about. I mean, how glam is that? I mean,
That's
you're
pretty
gonna
glam.
interview at a strip club? Yeah, I'm down. Let's do this.
Great.
Should have
Oh,
called
wow.
some of my old contacts up, man.
So, are you on Instagram right now?
We are.
Yes.
Because I talked to a guy, a good friend of mine, actually soon to be my son-in-law, and he's in a band, and he told me that in 1 month on Instagram, he got more followers than he did in 7 years on Facebook.
I'll have to spend a little more time on Instagram, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's just a matter of dedication to the specific social sites.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, lately it's been starting to blow up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you saw how many people have started. I wasn't even on it, honestly. I had asked him for the password because I don't go on it, but I usually do all the Facebook stuff. I help out with that stuff more than I do the Instagram. So
Well, I think is Instagram. Can you link Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook together right now? I think.
Instagram and Facebook, yes. Maybe Twitter? I'm not positive about Twitter, but you might be right.
I
know you
actually
can't-
have a meeting with a social media person tomorrow at noon, because
Well, get back
we
to us
suck.
anyway.
We're horrible at it, and myself and everybody else on the team and the band members, we've just had to accept the fact that we could talk about it all day long. Nobody ever is dedicated enough to do it. I mean, I've got way too many things on my plate. Everybody does. So we're bringing in a social media person to add to our team.
it's
It's
smart choice.
a good idea.
And but when I was talking to her, she said she could link a bunch of them together, and I was like, "Oh, cool, that'd be fun." Are you guys on YouTube?
Yes. Yes, we are.
Yes.
We have a lot of stuff on YouTube that we don't have other places. So yeah, we're on YouTube.
And is it all of it's just is it a Wunderlich band or what? Just
Let's see.
Wunderlich? I can't
Most of
imagine I can't imagine you can get Wunderlich all by itself. I already
No.
told you what it meant.
Well, on YouTube, you can type that up, and we'll eventually be in there.
Along with all the other stuff that's
Along with
Wunderlich
all the other,
included.
that's
The
from,
Wunderlich band from like a high school's in
Yeah.
there, and
which is odd. There's a high school Wunderlich band, which I still haven't figured out that or everything in Germany.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you got German porn in there.
Yeah.
Well, then you got to stop and look for a little while.
Might help us catch some more views.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
I don't know how these two got linked. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But we so many views now.
If they need a soundtrack, I mean, they don't have to look far.
Yeah.
Exactly. There you go. I mean, why not? In this day and age, why not? You've got to promote yourself any way you can. I mean, we talked before the show. We have a guy that's putting our logo on a race car.
Nice.
And, you
Two
know,
of them, said, right?
2 of them. Yeah. So we guaranteed not to be last. I mean,
Good
So,
call.
like,
Good call.
so we're going to all go to the races and have fun. But, just another way to get your name out there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
why not? Hey, check out this porn. We did the soundtrack for it. That would be
I did the wah pedal for it.
nice.
Good ones, good ones.
Why is he hitting that bass drum so hard? What other social media sites are you guys on? Do you do like what is it?
Facebook, Instagram, we're on Snapchat, we're on YouTube. I'm starting to set up a Patreon to go about things that way, to make that a separate thing. What?
Me and Jeff didn't know about half
Twitter.
of these.
Twitter.
This is the IT guy.
Yeah. He handles all of our stuff there.
Yeah, I set it up, but I can't pretend to know enough.
I mean, he's
about
the
it.
one who made our website.
I did
all
do
of it.
that. I
He
made the
did all of
website.
And the website is what for everybody?
Wunderlichmusic.com.
Wunderlichmusic.com. Are you on Spotify?
Not yet. Working on that.
Yes, we are working on a full album as we speak. So
Yeah.
um,
What's the other one?
it should be sometime. We're hoping sometime in the end of June, July, somewhere around there. So
SoundCloud. We are on SoundCloud.
Okay.
So we have tracks up there, and that should also be Wunderlich Band.
Wunderlich Band, Wunderlich Music. When you run those 2 in there, and you should be able to find them. You're doing an album. You're trying to finish up. Is this going to be an LP or an EP?
LP.
Yeah, full length album. It's going to be a 12-song album.
I know a lot of bands are actually just going to the singles right now.
Yeah, well, being that a lot of stuff is getting released on Apple Music and stuff, you can get away with doing just a single song or 2, double song releases. But we're very old school in our mentality. We want something to hand out. We want CDs.
Yeah.
We're going to still do all the, the Apple Music and Spotify and all that stuff too.
We'll do the same.
But we want a CD to hand out. I want something to give my, my lineage, hand it down and say, hey, your dad did something.
Yeah.
but I'm sure you can agree though too. I mean, having something, being old school, having something tangible is awesome. Just
This
go
is my
through and,
legacy.
just to go through and look at the CD while even if you're just listening to it, download it, at least you can go through it, printed lyrics or see anything
Yeah.
about the band. I think it's cool.
Especially for the kind of music we do and the kind of fans that we have, like the core base of our fans are people that would want the CD experience, right? Like they want the liner notes and they want the entire experience of listening to the whole album. So we want to do that. But yeah, of course, we know that you would have to go to Apple Music and release singles for everybody so that they can just have bite sizes of it for the people that don't want to sift through an entire thing. But we like it.
I'm
and
a
we think
CD
that
guy myself. I believe in the CD, but I won't tell you that I don't have a Spotify account when I'm at work that's just running through so many different genres of music. It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
My
So it's a good way
my boss walked into today. He's like, "Oh, we're listening to lesbian rock," and I'm like, "What? Where did that come from?" Well, I had a Melissa Etheridge song on, and I was like, "Oh, got it."
Noted.
No, I like Melissa. I mean, she's good. But, so you guys are out there on most of the social media out there. You're still trying to figure out TikTok like we are, but I'll get back with Dan and see how he's doing on that. Because TikTok, I don't get it. I don't get it, but I do know it works.
I was gonna say, neither do we, but my kid loves it.
Well, you kind of think about this though. The attention span of today's users are very short, somewhere between 30 and 60 seconds. That's what TikTok is, it's like one to the next, and even when you throw out videos on Facebook and, you can go in through and you can see how long they actually watched it, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and then they moved on to something else.
Yeah, it's usually 15 to 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I understand the format of it.
I'll be very honest when I make this statement. When I'm listening to something new and I don't know the band, I'll listen to like the first 10, 15 seconds and I'll be like, okay, I like the music. And then I'll jump ahead real quick. All right, am I going to like these vocals? Some vocals I just are not my cup of tea. And I understand that. But yeah, I'll jump ahead to the vocal real quick and give that 10, 15 seconds. And if I like it, I go back and I start it all the way over and I let it play. And that's kind of a shitty thing to do, I think, because when I grew up in the 70s, I grew up in the 80s, but in 76, I bought my very first record and it was Kiss Destroyer. You didn't have that choice. You put the needle down and you let it play, and
yeah,
it's not fair, I guess, but once again we
more choices.
I was going to say, there are so many choices.
That's just it. You don't have to. I don't understand people who bitch about bands. I really don't. I don't get it. Because quite frankly, Rob and Jeff and you guys have all hit it right on the head. There's so many choices out there. Why am I going to bitch about a band when all I got to do is go next?
Yeah, I mean, that's with a lot of things. I mean, that's just even, people that get pissed off at what they find on Facebook. It's like, keep scrolling, there's always an option, but people.
There's an unfollow button.
Right. I think some people like to fester, and we've gotten to a point where there's so much seclusion that it kind of makes them feel like there's a little bit of activity going on when everybody gets the trolls, people who like to sit there and just pick on people online, and they're laughing at home about it. I think it's just out of boredom sometimes, that people get pissed off about things. I'd be lying if I haven't looked through Facebook and just thought, hey, I could totally just rip somebody a new ass on this, just for the fun of it.
But as well as I do, in this business, you really can't do that.
You're absolutely right. And I don't. I'm just saying I'd be lying if I said the thought hasn't crossed my mind.
Oh, I did it this morning. I was reading through something. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. This is the most racist thing I've ever seen in my life. And this guy doesn't even understand. He's being a racist pig. And but I can't say anything. And Dan, you were at an event at the same time I was where I can't say anything about that night.
I was just going to say I'm not going to mention anything. However, I'm not contractually bound to anything. But what I will say is I have I started following this certain band back in 2001, 2002. Seeing them live a whole bunch of times, was a big fan. And after what happened, and I know I'm being very vague for anybody that's watching, I apologize, but it was heartbreaking, but I couldn't stand there, and it was either I leave or I go up and I knock the guy out, because just the shit that was being said, and you know, the bigotry and the racism and stuff, that's not something that I stand for personally, and I know neither of these two do either. You know, there's too much hate in the world in general. You don't need to be seeing that from people that are on a platform where we're talking to, you know, whether it's 10 people or 100,000. You don't be saying stupid shit like that on stage. It was an embarrassment, and it was absolutely asinine. And he was a prime example of what happens when I don't have physical proof of this, but I would assume, based on the slurred speech and everything throughout the set, alcohol is a bitch, and it can really taint some things. And it's not an excuse to be an asshole, but common sense went out the window with that guy that night, and so did a lot of fans.
Oh yeah, they did. I just remember turning around, looking and saying, "Pack the merch, let's go, let's get out of here."
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
That bigotry and that kind of that hatred and first off, you never bust the sound guy's balls in the first place. He will make, a sound guy will make or break you in any band. You never do that.
No.
Take care of the sound guy.
He's on your side.
He's working with you. You know, and I've had my occasions where I've worked with a guy that wasn't as experienced as other guys that I have, and he needs room to improve, sure. But to publicly try and humiliate him or her or whoever is there is just, it's the epitome of unprofessionalism on behalf of a band. You can have your qualms and you deal with it behind closed doors, but the racial slurs and all that other bullshit is not tolerable. Not at all.
So let's get on something better and happier, because I agree with you 1,000%, because I was there firsthand.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to this LP you guys have. Do you have a title for it yet?
No. Working title. Long time coming. That's what it is. It's the working title. Yeah.
Long time coming is the working title.
Yeah.
Now, is this going to be the first Wunderlich CD, or is it the second, or?
It'll be the first.
First for this rendition. I've done things in the past, but for this, for what we have going on right now, and these songs, this is the first.
For you in the past was like years ago, though.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
So, are you putting trying to put together a little tour to support it, or are we just doing Weekend Warriors with it, or what are we doing? And either way is great, by the way. I do a lot of Weekend Warrior stuff.
We're just trying to get the album finished first. When we get to the release, we're going to figure out whether we're going to do some small local touring with a nationwide release. We've got a networking capability that goes around the world. But we're not going to be able to tour around the world. We all have day jobs and kids and stuff right now.
You're not all millionaires living in mansions.
No.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Well,
we don't talk about it.
He is. He just don't say nothing. I rent the space under his table. You're actually looking at my home right here.
Wow.
But
this is just the roof.
Yeah,
this is the body right here.
So, but we're kind of playing it by ear. We've got several irons in the fire, and we're going to figure it out as we go along. The plan is to definitely do some bit of touring. We've got connects going coast to coast right now for venues that are willing to bring us on, and people willing to book us and everything like that. But we got to just figure out the logistics, and unfortunately, with any band, financing is a pain in the ass. So we got to figure that out.
Oh, I understand that all too well.
Uh-huh.
And like I said, all too well. And like I said, COVID didn't help any of us, where we basically went a year with no income and still had bills coming in.
Yep.
No money coming in, but money was going out.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we're working on a broken brake line right now on our bus, so we can make it to Thursday's show.
Jeez.
Well, talk to me privately about that one.
He works on trucks.
That's what I do. I'm a mechanic.
Well, we're a bit north of you, so
But I've got friends up north, and if
Oh.
there's something to help out, I will be more than happy to try.
they're supposed to be working on it today. So if I'll get a hold of you if they don't, definitely.
Cool.
Definitely. Is there anything you want to send out to your fans or people who've never seen you guys before?
You know what? I would love for them to just give us a chance. We do not disappoint. We bring it. We bring everything we possibly can. We do not leave any stone unturned. We really bring the energy the whole show. It's not 5 minutes and we're tired. I mean, whatever set we're doing, we bring it always. You guaranteed to have a good time, period. No matter from the music all the way to the banter. We always have, stage banter, and we always have fun with the crowd, and we try to entice them to come up and and have them be a part of the show, because I think that's important, because it's about entertainment, right? At the end of the day. So
Yeah.
And at the very least, you can see the world's biggest drummer. Uh, you don't find too many drummers that are my size that bang them like I do. So it's
Seen the
pretty
drummer
fun
for
to watch.
Soul Asylum.
I've seen, but I'm bigger.
The huge dude that's not, you're not fat. He's like gigantically way overweight.
Oh, Crowham, you're only seeing half me on this picture, bro.
That's why we have you sitting down, Dan. That's why we have you sitting down.
Exactly.
and the camera is across the room, way over there.
Well, I want to thank you guys for being on here. I really do. I've talked to Dan a couple of times. Nothing too much at length. I've went through your Facebook. I've checked out your guys' videos. And I really like what you guys are doing. I like it enough where I said yes, and Dan and I were talking one day and I said, hey, you want to be on the podcast? And I mean it very seriously when I say, I won't have somebody on here that I don't like. I mean, like I said, music is art. It is a taste. And I have mine too. And I really like it. I really appreciate what you guys do. It's good music. It's really good music. It's stuff that I like. I'm looking forward to seeing your guys' CD. Are you going to be shooting any videos with that, or are we just going to do live videos? Or
Oh yeah, we plan on doing the whole thing.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yep. Videos and pictures and liner notes and
Yep.
whole mess of
the
media
liner
going
note
on,
thing, I think, is pretty cool. Nobody does that anymore.
right? It'd be neat.
Nobody does that anymore, and it sets you apart. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it. It's better, Well, with that, I want to thank you guys for being on here very much. I appreciate it. And I want to let everybody else know that I'll be back in a week. Thank you to Wunderlich. Check their stuff out, guys. Go to their Facebook, give it a like, go to their Instagram, go to their YouTube channel, give it a like. While you're at their YouTube channel, jump over to Rock Talk with a Silver Fox. Give me a like and a subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And other than that, I want to say thank you guys. I tell everybody else to rock on, and thank you for being on the show.